Let me begin with a simple question. Have you ever noticed that the same sun rises for everyone, yet some people shine, some struggle, and some simply survive? The difference is not intelligence. The difference is not luck. The difference is not background. The difference is habits. Success is not created in one big moment of victory. It is quietly built in small daily actions so ordinary that they look boring. But repeated every day, they become extraordinary. Today, I want to share with you the common habits that every successful person follows, knowingly or unknowingly. When life goes wrong, most people immediately look outside. They look for someone to blame, something to complain about, or a situation to escape from. But if you closely observe people who truly move ahead in life, you will notice one powerful difference. They don't waste their energy asking, "Who is responsible for this?" Instead, they quietly ask, "What is my role in this, and what can I do now?" Successful people understand a simple truth. The moment you take responsibility, you take back control of your life. Responsibility does not mean blaming yourself for everything. It means accepting that your response matters more than the situation itself. Two people can face the same problem. One becomes bitter, the other becomes better. The difference is not the problem, the difference is ownership. Many people say, "If my circumstances were better, I would do better." Successful people reverse that thinking. They say, "If I become better, my circumstances will change." This shift in mindset is small, but its impact is huge. When you stop waiting for conditions to improve and start improving yourself, life begins to respond differently. Taking responsibility also means letting go of excuses. Excuses are comfortable, but they quietly steal growth. When someone says, "I couldn't do it because I didn't have time," what they are really saying is, "I didn't prioritize it." When someone says, "I failed because others didn't support me," they are handing their power to others. Successful people protect their power by owning their choices, even the wrong ones. Mistakes are not something they run away from. They look at mistakes honestly, without drama or denial. Instead of feeling ashamed, they become curious. What went wrong? What can be done better next time? This attitude turns failure into feedback and experience into wisdom. Responsibility also brings clarity. When you accept that your life is shaped by your daily actions, you stop feeling helpless. You realize that even if you cannot control everything that happens to you, you can always control how you respond. That awareness builds inner strength. It creates confidence that does not depend on praise, luck, or approval. People who take responsibility do not wait for motivation to appear. They act first, knowing that motivation often follows action. They understand that no one is coming to rescue them, and instead of feeling afraid, they feel empowered. They become disciplined, dependable, and mentally strong. Over time, this habit changes the way others see them as well. People begin to trust them, respect them, and rely on them. Opportunities naturally move toward those who are accountable, because responsibility signals maturity. In the end, success does not begin with talent or opportunity. It begins with the courage to say, "My life is my responsibility." When a person truly accepts this, growth becomes inevitable and progress becomes unstoppable. Many people stay busy throughout their lives, yet they feel stuck. Their days are full, but their lives feel empty. This happens not because they lack effort, but because their effort has no clear direction. Movement without direction creates exhaustion, not progress. Successful people understand this deeply. They may not have all the answers, but they are very clear about where they are headed. Clarity of direction does not mean everything is perfectly planned. It simply means knowing what truly matters. When a person knows what they want to become, the choices they make every day become simpler. They learn to say no to distractions, not because distractions are bad, but because focus is better. Direction gives meaning to sacrifice. People without direction often live on autopilot. They follow routines designed by others, chase goals they never chose, and measure success by standards that don't belong to them. Successful people pause and reflect. They ask themselves honest questions about their values, their strengths, and the kind of life they want to build. This inner clarity becomes their compass. A clear direction also creates patience. When you know where you are going, you don't panic if progress is slow. You understand that meaningful things take time. Small steps no longer feel small when they are aligned with a bigger purpose. Even setbacks feel temporary because the destination remains unchanged. Direction protects energy. Without it, people say yes to everything and end up drained. With it, they invest their time and effort wisely. Every action, every habit, and every relationship is evaluated through one simple lens. Does this move me closer to where I want to go? If the answer is no, they let it go without guilt. Successful people also revisit their direction regularly. Growth brings change, and clarity evolves with experience. They are not rigid, but they are rooted. They adjust the path when needed, without losing sight of the destination. This balance between flexibility and focus keeps them moving forward. When challenges appear, direction becomes even more powerful. Motivation may fade, emotions may fluctuate, but direction stays steady. It acts like an inner anchor, keeping them grounded during uncertainty. Others may give up because they are tired. They continue because they are clear. A life with direction feels purposeful even on ordinary days. Work feels meaningful, effort feels intentional, and progress feels real. This clarity does not make life easier, but it makes it worth the effort. Everyone talks about time, but very few people truly respect it. Most people treat time casually, assuming there will always be more of it tomorrow. Successful people see time differently. They understand that time is the only resource given equally to everyone, yet used very unequally. Once a moment passes, it is gone forever, and this awareness shapes the way they live each day. Respecting time does not mean rushing through life or being busy all the time. It means being intentional. Successful people know the difference between being busy and being productive. They choose quality over quantity and focus over noise. They plan their days with purpose, not rigidity, understanding that time, when guided, becomes a powerful ally. They also value small pockets of time. While others wait for perfect conditions or long hours, successful people make use of what is available. 10 minutes of learning, 20 minutes of reflection, a focused hour of deep work. They understand that consistency in small efforts compounds over time. What looks insignificant today becomes remarkable over the years. Respect for time also shows in their punctuality and commitments. When they promise something, they honor it. They see every commitment as a reflection of their character. Being late, delaying important work, or procrastinating repeatedly is not just poor planning. It is a form of self-disrespect. Successful people protect their time because they value their life. They are careful about where their attention goes. Endless scrolling, unnecessary arguments, and mindless consumption slowly steal hours and energy. Successful people are not perfect, but they are conscious. They regularly audit their habits and remove what does not serve their growth. They understand that what they give time to eventually shapes who they become. Rest is also a part of respecting time. They know that exhaustion wastes time in the long run. Proper rest, reflection, and renewal allow them to show up fully when it matters. They don't glorify burnout, they respect balance. As time passes, this habit creates a quiet discipline. Days become structured, weeks become meaningful, and years begin to reflect progress. They don't chase time, they walk alongside it, aware that every moment, when used wisely, moves life forward. Most people wake up reacting to life. The alarm rings, the phone is checked, messages are read, and the mind immediately fills with noise. The day begins in chaos, and that chaos silently follows them for hours. Successful people approach their mornings differently. They understand that how the day begins often decides how the day unfolds. Waking up with purpose does not require a dramatic routine or extreme discipline. It begins with awareness. Instead of rushing, they create a small space for intention. Even a few quiet minutes allow the mind to settle and the direction of the day to become clear. This pause helps them move from reaction to choice. They wake up knowing why they are getting out of bed. It may not be a grand goal every morning, but there is meaning attached to their effort. When work is connected to purpose, energy comes naturally. Fatigue feels lighter because the mind understands the reason behind the effort. Purposeful mornings also reduce mental clutter. Successful people don't allow unnecessary decisions to drain their energy early in the day. They simplify where possible and focus on what truly matters. This clarity protects their attention and keeps distractions from taking control. They often use mornings to invest in themselves. This could be through reflection, learning, planning, or simply silence. These moments may look small from the outside, but they create inner stability. When the inner world is calm, the outer world becomes manageable. A purposeful start also builds confidence. Completing even one intentional action early in the day creates momentum. Momentum turns ordinary days into productive ones. Instead of chasing motivation, they build it through action. Over time, this habit shapes their identity. They no longer see mornings as something to survive, but as an opportunity to align with their values. Even difficult days feel more grounded when they begin with purpose. The mind is powerful, but if left untrained, it becomes restless and unpredictable. Most people allow their thoughts to control them. A small problem turns into a big fear, a single failure becomes a permanent label, and a moment of negativity shapes an entire day. Successful people understand that the quality of their life depends largely on the quality of their thoughts, so they learn to manage their inner world. They do not try to eliminate negative thoughts completely, because they know that is unrealistic. Instead, they learn not to obey every thought that appears. Just because a thought enters the mind does not mean it deserves attention. This awareness creates emotional stability. When challenges arise, they observe their thoughts instead of getting trapped in them. Successful people practice mental discipline. They train themselves to pause before reacting. This pause creates space between stimulus and response, and in that space lies wisdom. While others react impulsively, they respond thoughtfully. This single habit saves them from countless regrets and unnecessary conflict. They are careful about the stories they tell themselves. When something goes wrong, they do not immediately jump to self-criticism or hopeless conclusions. They reframe situations with honesty and compassion. This does not mean avoiding reality. It means facing reality without self-destruction. Their mind is also protected from constant negativity. They choose what they consume: news, conversations, entertainment, and social media, with awareness. They know that whatever enters the mind repeatedly becomes a belief over time. By guarding their mental inputs, they maintain clarity and focus. They also understand the importance of silence. In a world full of noise, silence becomes a strength. Moments of stillness allow the mind to reset and regain balance. Through reflection and mindfulness, they reconnect with themselves and regain perspective. Over time, this control over the mind becomes a quiet superpower. Stress becomes manageable, fear loses its grip, and confidence grows naturally. They are not fearless, but they are mentally steady. This steadiness allows them to move forward calmly, even when life feels uncertain. Many people wait for the perfect moment to begin. They wait to feel confident, motivated, or fully prepared. Days turn into months, and months quietly turn into years. Successful people understand a simple reality. Perfection is an illusion, but consistency is powerful. They do not aim to be perfect, they aim to show up. They accept that some days will feel heavy and some efforts will feel average. Instead of stopping, they continue. Progress is built not on extraordinary days, but on ordinary ones repeated again and again. Even when enthusiasm fades, they stay committed to the process. This steady effort creates results that sudden bursts of motivation never can. Successful people focus on systems rather than moods. They build habits that carry them forward even when they do not feel inspired. On difficult days, they lower their expectations but never lower their standards. Doing something small is always better than doing nothing at all. They understand that mistakes are part of growth. Instead of quitting when things go wrong, they adjust and continue. Consistency gives them the freedom to fail without fear, because they know tomorrow is another opportunity to improve. Each repetition brings clarity, skill, and confidence. This approach removes pressure. When perfection is no longer the goal, progress becomes enjoyable. They stop comparing their beginning to someone else's middle. They trust their pace and respect their journey. This patience allows them to stay in the game long enough for success to arrive. Over time, consistency compounds. What starts as a small daily effort turns into expertise, discipline, and credibility. Others may not notice the work at first, but results eventually speak. Success begins to look effortless from the outside, but it is built quietly through consistent action when no one is watching. Successful people never assume they know enough. No matter how far they go, they carry the mindset of a student. While others feel threatened by new information, they feel curious. They understand that the world keeps changing, and those who stop learning slowly fall behind, even if they are talented. Learning for them is not limited to classrooms or degrees. Every experience becomes a lesson. A mistake teaches them what to avoid. A challenge shows them what to improve. Even difficult people teach them patience and understanding. Nothing is wasted. Everything adds to their growth. They actively seek knowledge. Reading, listening, observing, and asking thoughtful questions are natural parts of their life. They do not learn to impress others. They learn to improve themselves. This quiet hunger for growth keeps their mind fresh and adaptable. Successful people are not afraid to admit when they don't know something. In fact, they see honesty as strength. By acknowledging gaps in their understanding, they create space for real learning. This humility allows them to grow faster than those who pretend to know everything. They also apply what they learn. Knowledge without action remains theory. They experiment, reflect, and refine. Some lessons work, some don't, but each attempt moves them forward. Learning becomes meaningful when it changes behavior, not just information. Over time, continuous learning builds confidence that is calm and grounded. They do not fear change because they trust their ability to adapt. Skills evolve, perspectives widen, and opportunities naturally follow those who never stop learning. Comfort is attractive because it feels safe and familiar. It asks nothing difficult and promises immediate ease. Most people slowly build their lives around what feels comfortable without realizing that comfort, when chosen too often, quietly limits growth. Successful people understand this early. They respect comfort, but they do not let it decide their future. They are willing to feel uncomfortable in order to grow. Learning a new skill, taking responsibility, speaking up, or starting something uncertain all bring discomfort. Instead of avoiding these feelings, they recognize them as signs of progress. Discomfort becomes an indicator that they are stretching beyond their old limits. They do not wait until fear disappears. They move forward while fear is present. Courage for them is not the absence of fear, but the ability to act despite it. Each time they step outside their comfort zone, confidence increases, not because the situation becomes easier, but because they become stronger. Successful people also understand that growth requires letting go. Old habits, outdated beliefs, and familiar routines sometimes need to be released to make space for something better. Letting go is uncomfortable, but holding on to what no longer serves them is even more costly in the long run. They choose long-term fulfillment over short-term pleasure. While comfort offers immediate relief, growth offers lasting satisfaction. This mindset helps them make disciplined choices, even when easier options are available. They understand that today's discomfort becomes tomorrow's strength. Over time, this habit changes their identity. What once felt difficult becomes normal. Their comfort zone expands, and challenges that once felt overwhelming begin to feel manageable. Growth becomes a lifestyle rather than an occasional effort, and progress continues naturally. Failure scares most people because they see it as an ending. One mistake feels like a judgment on their ability, their intelligence, or their worth. Successful people look at failure differently. For them, failure is not a full stop. It is a comma. It pauses the journey, but it does not end it. When things don't work out, they allow themselves to feel disappointed, but they don't stay there for long. They separate the event from their identity. A failure is something that happened, not who they are. This mindset protects their confidence and keeps self-doubt from taking over. They study failure with honesty. Instead of hiding from it or blaming others, they analyze it. What went wrong? What was missing? What can be done differently next time? This reflection transforms pain into progress. Every failure becomes a lesson that sharpens their approach. Successful people also understand that failure is often a sign of effort. Those who never fail usually never try anything meaningful. By accepting failure as part of growth, they free themselves from the fear of trying. This freedom allows them to take calculated risks and explore new possibilities. They don't repeat the same mistakes blindly, they adapt. They change strategies, improve skills, and adjust expectations. Failure becomes feedback, guiding them toward better decisions. Over time, these adjustments create resilience. As failures accumulate, so does experience. What once felt discouraging begins to feel familiar. They become emotionally stronger and mentally tougher. Setbacks lose their power to stop them. Instead of breaking them, failures shape them into wiser, more grounded individuals who move forward with clarity and courage. Many people believe success comes from working non-stop, pushing harder, and ignoring exhaustion. At first, this may show results, but over time it leads to burnout, frustration, and loss of clarity. Successful people understand that energy, not time alone, determines the quality of effort. They learn to manage their energy wisely so they can perform consistently, not occasionally. They become aware of their natural rhythms. They know when their focus is sharp and when it fades. Instead of forcing productivity at all hours, they align important work with their peak energy levels. This awareness allows them to achieve more with less struggle. Successful people also protect their energy from unnecessary drains. Constant negativity, unresolved conflicts, and overcommitment quietly exhaust the mind. They learn to set boundaries without guilt. Saying no becomes an act of self-respect, not selfishness. Rest is treated as a responsibility, not a reward. Sleep, breaks, and moments of stillness are not seen as laziness, but as preparation. They understand that a tired mind makes poor decisions, while a rested mind sees solutions clearly. They balance effort with recovery. Physical movement, reflection, and simple moments of joy help them recharge. These activities renew energy rather than consume it. Over time, they develop a sustainable rhythm that supports long-term growth. By managing energy instead of chasing endless activity, they remain focused, calm, and effective. Their progress may look steady rather than dramatic, but it lasts. This balance allows them to stay committed to their goals without losing themselves in the process. No one grows in isolation. Whether we realize it or not, the people around us shape our thoughts, habits, and beliefs. Successful people are deeply aware of this influence. They understand that environment matters, and the company they keep quietly affects the direction of their life. They choose relationships with intention. This does not mean they only surround themselves with successful people, but they stay close to those who encourage growth, honesty, and positivity. Conversations with such people leave them feeling inspired, not drained. Over time, this kind of environment strengthens their mindset. Successful people are careful about constant negativity. They know that complaining, gossip, and discouraging talk slowly poison motivation. Instead of engaging in such patterns, they distance themselves mentally or physically when needed. This is not arrogance, it is self-protection. They also value people who challenge them. True growth often comes from those who offer honest feedback, even when it is uncomfortable. Successful people listen with openness rather than defensiveness. They understand that constructive criticism, when received with humility, accelerates improvement. At the same time, they strive to be the kind of person others grow around. They offer support, share knowledge, and celebrate others' success. Relationships are not used for personal gain, but built on mutual respect and trust. This attitude creates strong bonds over time. As years pass, their circle becomes a source of strength. During difficult moments, the right people provide clarity and courage. During success, they keep them grounded. Surrounded by the right influences, progress feels natural and sustainable. Gratitude may seem simple, but its impact is profound. Many people believe they will feel thankful once they achieve more, earn more, or become more. Successful people reverse this mindset. They understand that gratitude is not the result of success. It is one of the reasons success feels fulfilling. They notice what is working in their life instead of obsessing only over what is missing. This does not mean they lack ambition. They aim high, but they remain grounded. Gratitude keeps their heart light even while their goals remain big. It reminds them that progress is happening even when the journey feels slow. Successful people practice gratitude intentionally. They reflect on small victories, supportive people, and lessons learned along the way. These moments of appreciation shift their focus from scarcity to abundance. When the mind recognizes abundance, stress reduces and clarity increases. Gratitude also strengthens resilience. During difficult times, it helps them see beyond the problem. They may not be thankful for the struggle, but they are thankful for the strength, learning, or perspective it brings. This outlook prevents bitterness from taking root. Their relationships benefit from gratitude as well. They acknowledge effort, express appreciation, and do not take people for granted. This builds trust and warmth, creating deeper connections. People naturally feel valued around someone who practices gratitude. Over time, gratitude shapes their character. It brings humility in success and hope in hardship. Life feels richer, not because everything is perfect, but because they have learned to value what truly matters. Communication is not just about speaking, it is about understanding and being understood. Many problems in life arise not from lack of ability, but from lack of clarity in communication. Successful people recognize this early and work consciously on how they express themselves and how they listen to others. They speak with intention rather than impulse. Instead of reacting emotionally, they choose words carefully, knowing that words have the power to build or damage relationships. Clarity matters more to them than sounding impressive. They prefer being understood over being right. Listening is a skill they value deeply. While many people listen only to respond, successful people listen to understand. They give others their full attention without interrupting or judging. This creates trust and makes people feel respected. Often, listening itself solves half the problem. They are honest but thoughtful. They do not avoid difficult conversations, nor do they use harsh words. Truth is communicated with empathy. This balance allows them to address issues without creating unnecessary conflict. Over time, this earns them credibility and respect. Successful people also adapt their communication. They understand that different people require different approaches. What works in one situation may not work in another. This flexibility helps them connect with people from diverse backgrounds and perspectives. They are mindful of non-verbal communication as well. Tone, body language, and silence often speak louder than words. By being aware of these signals, they ensure that their message aligns with their intention. As a result, misunderstandings reduce and collaboration improves. Strong communication strengthens relationships, opens opportunities, and creates an environment where ideas can grow freely. Motivation is powerful, but it is unreliable. Some days it is high, some days it disappears without warning. Many people stop moving forward the moment they no longer feel motivated. Successful people understand this pattern and do not depend on motivation alone. They build discipline so progress continues even on difficult days. Discipline is choosing what matters most over what feels easiest. It is waking up and doing the work even when the excitement is gone. Successful people accept that not every day will feel inspiring, and they make peace with that reality. They rely on commitment, not emotion. They create routines that support their goals. These routines remove the need to make decisions repeatedly. When actions become habits, effort feels lighter. Discipline becomes less about force and more about consistency. Successful people also keep promises to themselves. This builds self-trust. Each time they follow through despite discomfort, confidence grows quietly. They learn that they can rely on themselves, which is a powerful source of inner strength. They do not wait for the perfect mood. They act first, knowing that action often creates motivation. Even small steps taken on low energy days protect momentum. Momentum, once lost, is hard to regain, so they guard it carefully. Over time, discipline shapes their identity. They no longer ask whether they feel like doing the work. They simply do it. This steady approach allows them to move forward regardless of changing emotions and circumstances. Problems are a part of every life. What separates people is not the number of problems they face, but how they respond to them. Many people get stuck complaining, analyzing who is at fault, or wishing the situation were different. Successful people move their attention elsewhere. They focus on what can be done next. They understand that complaining drains energy without creating progress. While emotions are acknowledged, they are not allowed to dominate. Once the initial reaction passes, their mind shifts toward finding answers. This habit keeps them moving forward even in difficult situations. Successful people ask better questions. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" they ask, "What is in my control right now?" This shift immediately brings clarity. When attention moves to action, helplessness fades and confidence begins to return. They break big problems into smaller parts. Overwhelm reduces when a problem is approached step by step. Even a small solution creates momentum. Momentum builds belief, and belief fuels further action. They are open to learning during challenges. Problems often reveal gaps in skills, planning, or understanding. Rather than feeling defeated, successful people see these moments as opportunities to improve. Each problem becomes a training ground for growth. They also remain calm under pressure. Emotional stability allows them to think clearly when others panic. This calmness is not accidental. It is developed through practice and self-awareness. Clear thinking leads to better decisions. Over time, this solution-focused mindset becomes natural. Problems no longer feel like roadblocks, but like signals guiding them toward better choices and stronger capabilities. Many people chase success while ignoring their health, believing they will take care of it later. Later often arrives with fatigue, illness, or loss of balance. Successful people understand that health is not separate from success. It is the foundation of it. Without physical and mental well-being, achievements lose their value. They listen to their body. Small signs of tiredness, stress, or imbalance are not ignored. Instead of pushing endlessly, they adjust. This awareness helps them maintain strength over the long term rather than burning out quickly. Successful people build simple, sustainable habits. They do not rely on extreme routines. Regular movement, nourishing food, adequate sleep, and mental rest become part of their lifestyle. These habits may look ordinary, but they protect energy and focus. Mental health is given equal importance. They create space to process emotions rather than suppressing them. Stress is managed through reflection, balance, and healthy boundaries. A calm mind allows them to make better decisions and handle pressure with clarity. They understand that self-care is not selfish. Taking care of health allows them to show up fully for their work and relationships. When the body and mind are supported, productivity increases naturally. Over time, this respect for health creates stability. They remain present, focused, and capable through different phases of life. Success becomes sustainable rather than exhausting, allowing them to grow without losing balance. The desire for instant pleasure is a natural part of being human. The mind wants quick rewards, easy comfort, and immediate satisfaction. Many people allow these urges to guide their decisions without realizing the long-term cost. Successful people become aware of this tendency and consciously choose patience over impulse. They understand that every choice carries a consequence, even the small ones. Choosing entertainment over effort, spending over saving, or rest over discipline may feel harmless in the moment, but repeated daily, these choices shape the future. Successful people think beyond the present moment. They ask themselves not what feels good now, but what will matter later. Delaying gratification is not about punishment or denial. It is about prioritizing what truly matters. They willingly accept temporary discomfort because they understand its value. Effort today creates ease tomorrow. Discipline now creates freedom later. This understanding helps them stay committed even when no one is watching. They develop control over impulses by creating structure in their life. Clear goals, routines, and boundaries reduce unnecessary temptation. When decisions are guided by values rather than emotions, self-control becomes stronger and more natural. Successful people keep their vision alive in their mind. When the purpose is clear, distractions lose their attraction. The mind learns to wait, to stay steady, and to trust the process. Over time, patience becomes a strength rather than a struggle. Each time they choose long-term growth over short-term comfort, self-respect increases. Confidence grows quietly from these moments. What once felt difficult slowly becomes part of who they are, shaping a future built on stability, depth, and lasting fulfillment. As people grow and achieve more, ego often tries to take control. Success brings recognition, praise, and attention, and many lose themselves in it. Successful people remain aware of this inner shift and consciously choose humility. They understand that pride may feel powerful, but humility keeps them grounded. They remember their journey clearly. The struggles, failures, and support they received along the way are not forgotten. This memory keeps them respectful toward others and grateful for every opportunity. They know that no achievement is created alone. Humility allows them to keep learning. When ego disappears, curiosity remains. Successful people do not assume they are always right. They stay open to feedback and new perspectives, understanding that growth never truly ends. They treat everyone with the same respect, regardless of position or status. Titles and achievements do not define how they behave. Their character stays consistent whether they are at the top or starting again. Successful people do not seek validation constantly. They are confident, yet not loud. Their actions speak louder than their words. Humility gives their success depth and meaning rather than emptiness. This grounded nature earns them trust. People feel comfortable around them, willing to support and collaborate. Over time, humility strengthens both personal growth and lasting relationships. True success is never limited to personal achievement alone. As people grow, they begin to realize that fulfillment deepens when their efforts positively affect others. Successful people understand this shift. They move from asking only what they can gain to considering how they can contribute. They look for ways to add value wherever they are. It may be through guidance, support, encouragement, or simply being present. They understand that impact does not always require a large platform. Small acts, done consistently, create meaningful change. Serving others keeps them connected to reality. It prevents success from becoming self-centered. By focusing on contribution, they remain grounded and empathetic. This perspective strengthens character and brings balance to ambition. Successful people also share knowledge freely. They do not feel threatened by helping others grow. They understand that growth is not a limited resource. When others rise, the environment improves for everyone. Service builds strong relationships. Trust grows when people feel genuinely supported. Over time, these connections create opportunities, collaboration, and collective progress. Success becomes shared rather than isolated. This habit brings deep satisfaction. Achievements feel richer when they create positive change beyond oneself. Purpose expands, and success gains meaning that lasts far beyond recognition or reward. Belief is quiet, not loud. It does not announce itself or seek approval. Successful people carry belief within them even when there is no evidence around them. When results are slow and efforts go unnoticed, they continue without losing faith in their path. They understand that doubt is a natural part of growth. Moments of uncertainty come to everyone, especially when progress feels invisible. Instead of letting doubt stop them, they learn to walk alongside it. Belief is not the absence of doubt, it is the decision to move forward despite it. Successful people do not depend on constant encouragement. External validation fades quickly, but inner belief stays steady. They remind themselves why they started and reconnect with their purpose during difficult phases. This inner conversation keeps them grounded when outside support is missing. They trust the process, even when outcomes are unclear. Not everything shows immediate results. Some efforts grow quietly beneath the surface before they become visible. Belief allows them to remain patient and consistent during these phases. They also learn to believe in themselves after failure. Mistakes do not weaken their self-trust, they strengthen it. Each setback proves that they can fall, learn, and rise again. This resilience deepens belief over time. As belief becomes stronger, fear loses its control. Confidence grows calmly, without arrogance. Even when the path feels lonely or uncertain, belief keeps them moving forward, step by step, with quiet determination. Success is not a destination reached by a few lucky people. It is a journey shaped by daily choices, quiet discipline, and simple habits practiced consistently. When these habits come together, they transform ordinary lives into meaningful ones. You do not need to change everything at once. Change begins the moment awareness turns into action. One thought, one habit, one decision repeated daily can slowly reshape an entire future. The path may not always be easy, fast, or visible. There will be moments of doubt, pauses, and setbacks. Yet every step taken with clarity, responsibility, patience, and belief moves life forward. Success in the end is not just about what is achieved, but about who you become in the process. And when growth becomes the goal, success naturally follows.